Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice.
They are whooping people at the Mexican border like the days of slavery. It is no longer history because it's happening right now. So I've really been trying to wrap my mind around this Haitian crisis going on down at the Mexican border across from Del Rio, Texas. And the video is kind of like unbelievable, but yet believable. And it is insane. So, digging a little bit deeper in this and trying to make sense of it. If you guys are not familiar with Title 42, I'm going to read it to you, and then this can kind of be like, this is kind of the basis for a lot of things that are happening right now. I know everybody's getting on Biden for him to step in, and yes, it would be great for him to repeal this particular Title 42 because it would allow for some changes down at the border. So here is the deal. Title 42 expulsions are removals by the U.S. government of persons who have recently been in a country where a communicable disease was present. The extent of authority for contingent-related expulsions is set out by law in the 42 U.S.C., the United States Code, Section 265. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Trump administration used this provision, Section 265, to generally block land entry for many migrants. The program has been continued by the Biden administration. The program allows the United States Border Patrol and U.S. Customs to prohibit the entry of persons who potentially pose a health risk, either by virtue of being subject to previously announced travel restrictions or because they unlawfully entered the country to bypass health screening measures. Persons subject to the order are not held in congregate areas for processing and are instead immediately expelled to their country of last transit. If they are unable to be returned to the country of last transit, the Border Patrol will work with its integrity partners to expel the person to their country of origin. Expulsions under Title 42 are not based on immigration status and are tracked separately from immigration. So, this started March 2020 and is still continuing on. So what would really have to happen is that the Biden administration would have to repeal it in order to get some things done. Now, a lot of the Haitian migrants who are at the border are coming in from South America and have made their way onto the mainland. And I say mainland because we all know Mexico is connected to the U.S. So a lot of these folks, apparently this is another alternative route that a lot of migrants use coming through Central America, South America, which I didn't know that much about that. I mean, we all know that migrants can pretty much come from anywhere. If there's land, sea, boat, whatever, they will find a way. So I did not know that it was such a huge thing. So they pretty much have like a tent city set up at the border. And apparently food is very low. And of course, facilities and all of that stuff is pretty much non-existent. I know one organization who is there right now, which is, I don't know how they do it, World Central Kitchen. So they are providing them with hot meals, which is run by Chef Jose Andres, who is amazing. I don't know how they activate in all these different places all over the world, but it's incredible. And I do support their organization on a monthly donation basis because I just think they are amazing. It's World Central Kitchen. Google them, give to them the money. They show you exactly what they're doing with the money every single day. It is incredible. There could be a disaster in the middle of nowhere, Antarctica, and they will find a way to get people out there to support, and cook nutritious food and get them supplies and water and all that sort of stuff. So it really is an amazing program, and I've been proud to support them for the past few years. So getting back to this whole situation, this is real life here, people. My phone's going off. This whole thing has just moved me in directions that my thought process is so all over the place with this. At one point, these videos of these dudes on these horses, Border Patrol or whatever, it's hard to watch because it almost kind of looks like Bloody Sunday. And also, and you can Google Bloody Sunday. I won't get into all that, but Google Bloody Sunday and you'll know what I'm talking about. And just things from back in the day when there was still slaves and, to try to hit someone with what is essentially a horsewhip. It's to, I guess keep the horses in line or whatever it is the case may be. But they whipped it at people. You're running people down with horses. And if anyone, I don't know how many people have ridden a horse, but let me tell you something. Horses are huge. Huge. You can stand up, be 6 feet tall, and be eye to eye with a horse, and they're probably taller than that. It is insane and inhumane to even think. I'm thrown. I'm thrown and then I'm not thrown because I don't think anything shocks me anymore. And it's like, the pandemic you didn't think that wasn't enough. Then we had this ridiculous insurrection, attempted coup at the top of the year. And now we're in the last quarter of the year getting into, and we're seeing this. And I need to understand why I think almost 100,000, I think the actual number is 95,000 Afghan people were allowed to come to this country. And we can't do anything for the Haitian people? What is it, that Haiti doesn't have anything left to take? Is that what it is? I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding it at all. I know there's a lot of history. I know Haiti has been hated on for, I don't even know, hundreds of years. I believe that they were the first black country to be independent. And ever since, it has just been horrific. They have been trying to pay back their debt to society for I don't know how long. There's so much history behind that literally it's like they're indebted. And it's almost like a curse that's sitting over them. And I'll tell you, I definitely am a close ally to the Haitian community. So many of my good friends, best friends that I've grown up with my whole life, whose family is from Haiti. And this is probably the most despicable. I've seen Haiti get treated badly previously, but this is the most despicable that I've ever seen. There has to be something that the governor of Texas can do and these members of Congress, because ultimately it directly has to do with them. And if they are not going to step up to the plate and grant asylum and, case by case basis, obviously, of what to do, then the Biden administration needs to step in and maybe just do a sweeping repeal of this particular title, so that it will free up the stringency, of these expulsions, so we can look at case by case basis. Because I want to say, last I heard, there was a little over 8,000 Haitians at the border, and they've built kind of like a little tent town. And from what I understand, Border Patrol was allowing them to go back and forth between Mexico, crossing the Rio Grande, going back and forth between Mexico to get food and supplies because they were extremely low. But as with anything, stuff always goes left. And of course, people are trying to run across into Texas at the same time. And I think the governor has lined up some miles and miles of cars as a barrier to keep them from coming into the country and all of that. Listen, I know that countries cannot just open their doors and just let everybody in all kinds of ways. I understand that. I'm not, playing stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You have to have some type of screening services and all this sort of stuff. But apparently, this has been an ongoing thing for quite some time. The way that, Texas is trying to portray this is like this just started up yesterday, and it's clear that this is an ongoing thing and has been for a long time, but nobody cared to report about it. And it doesn't look like they're at a border area where there's a lot of residences. I know there's some places between Mexico and like Arizona and some places like that where there's actually housing right on the other side. So they often see people literally running across the border, So I don't think that this is the case with this. It looks a little bit it's a big crossing across the river. It doesn't look like a lot of living is going on in the area. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of residents or whatever on the Texas side in that specific area. But it is definitely very hard to watch. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. But if this is going to be something that's carrying over from the Trump administration, something that he put into place, then maybe this particular thing needs to be relaxed at the moment so that we can figure out what's what. Because I suspect we're going to see a lot of COVID cases. We're going to see a whole lot of stuff going on. But if we can do what we did for the Afghan people, then I don't understand why we can't do this for Haiti, especially since they are on the heels of their president being assassinated, I believe was in July, and also a major earthquake which took the lives of so many people just recently. I don't even know if it's been a month yet. So they are dealing with disastrous conditions where they are. And one thing I wanted to note too, which I was just so proud to see, is that so many of the Haitian people that they were speaking to on the news speak fluent Spanish as well. There has to be a pathway for people who have those type of skills to, be an asset to the U.S. community. You know, the United States as a community, there has to be something. You know, there has to be something. But like I said, I don't have all the answers to this, and I know this is not going to get solved overnight, but I would urge, you know, government to really take a close look at this. And the Biden administration, it's time to repeal this title. Time to repeal these sort of archaic, you know, dealings so that we can get to the bottom of what's going on and help these people out. I'm on social media at Onyx Queen Media. Bye, you guys.